on Twitter. He posts a lot of pizza stuff.
Or Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew stuff.
I just played a Jace, don't care what you think. I just played a Jace, don't care what you think. Wish you could turn back time. Just a couple of plays.
Shit, I'm not gonna...
With mana to keep, but now you're tapped out.
21
you're tapped out.
21 pilots.
21 pilots, yeah, for sure.
Shit. If I could turn back time. But that's not the name of the song, is it? No?
Now you're tapped out. Focus on that part.
Yeah.
He's giving us a lot of hints.
He actually interrupted me. I was about there.
Blame Trombley.
Yeah.
This is a Trombley song, by the way. That was Trombley singing, by the way. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm all right with not knowing.
Stressed out.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have got stressed out. Hey, if you guys, this is a new voice here. We have Trombley. We have our first guest on the CommanderSmiths.
And we've said this guy's name plenty of times.
So you finally get to meet the man, the myth, the legend, Trombley.
I wouldn't go that far.
I mean, I would, but...
You didn't kick some ass today and fucking Kaalia. Turn 1 Soul Rings was the theme of our games today.
That was pretty brutal.
But welcome to CommanderSmiths.
We are the CommanderSmiths.
I'm Adam Smith.
I am Lowery Smith.
Don't worry.
We're cousins.
You could have jumped in there.
Yeah,
Trombley.
we
could have said
like
we were
that
cousins.
slight.
Oh, that's all right. I don't want to get in your little cousin thing you got going here.
This is episode 77.
I think so, yeah.
What are we doing today? We're actually breaking down Trombley's deck today.
Yeah, so we're going to do a Commander Spotlight on Kaalia the Vast.
Well, this podcast, they won't know.
We just found out from Trombley that we have a little bit of a dick theme we didn't realize.
With YouTube.
So, for you listeners, are you not surprised also? I assumed it was intentional that their key phrases are all dick related, and I made a comment about
Meat
that.
Force, Garrick's Dong, and
Dick sleeves.
Dick sleeves.
And I made a comment about their dick theme, and Adam laughed and goes, I didn't realize we had that going. I'm like, I assumed that was intentional.
I think we have a something with... I can't even think of words
totally
right now.
something.
Something with...
Totally something.
An infatuation with dicks is what
we're
I'm
already
saying.
drinking.
He's got dicks on the brain.
Oh, yeah. What are we drinking here, Larry?
We're drinking like a blueberry sour. This is from Stone and Evil Twin Mixture. I don't even know how to... It's Soirees, Ubel, Imperial...
It's like a fucking gallon.
Berliner Weiss. Yeah, it's a fucking huge... I kind of regret bringing it at this point.
We're all splitting one beer.
Yeah, so I posted this on Twitter right before we started up. I think it's all right. I don't think it's the best, but it was like a $25 bottle.
That's not bad.
So I was like, I got to get rid of this.
$25 is not a bad deal when you consider that's like a 12-pack by itself.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I dig the sours. I like when you bring the sours, especially when you bring a lot of them.
I always try and make you happy, Adam.
Oh, not when you're playing fucking Commander. You're
a liar.
He's only happy when you let him win.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the only way he's happy.
Win.
I
had the win.
He's testing out a new deck. You gotta let him get that W.
Yeah, exactly.
If you
I don't get the full test until the game ends and I get the win. That's how I know that the deck is fully tested.
If you had like a mobster name, it'd be Crybaby Adam. Like
that was terrible.
No, that was a good one. That was a good one. I was waiting on that too.
See, the way I look at it is Adam's trying to christen the deck, and every time he loses, it's like when you it's from like Caddyshack when you bust the champagne bottle over and it knocks off the front part of the boat. That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to christen the deck. So
that's the only way that I get the real test is when it wins. So or what's the other one? Ilhrog has never been tested because Larry just kills it immediately.
Okay, so we played some games tonight, but we should do what are they? Our tags?
Yeah, you started off. Go ahead.
Okay, so we're on Twitter.
You're so good at that.
We post like the proxies that Adam makes. I do beers that I'm not sharing with Adam, and I also share with beers with whoever's on the podcast here. If you are drinking something and you ever see the not sharing with Adam, you can post stuff that you're not sharing with Adam as well. That would be great. Make him feel even more bitter. And then otherwise, we will spoil stuff or We haven't done an instance spec for a while, but
Yeah, it's been a little bit since we did that. Right now, I've just been kind of focused on the Modern Horizon box stuff.
yeah.
And then you can also go on YouTube. Actually, our last month YouTube winner, we did a little drawing, and Trombley drew Joseph Wonder as our winner for the YouTube. So this month... Yeah, for July. So now we're starting August. So this month we're gonna just do Meat Force again. We haven't said anything that funny that has to deal with dicks.
Yeah, we've been pretty bland for about 6 months.
We're just gonna keep the Meat Force going because hashtag Meat Force. That's the free way to support our show. You just go on there, like, subscribe. That's the best way to actually promote us is YouTube.
Yeah.
Or tell your family.
Be doing a box opening and giving away packs to our patrons this next week. And we will be posting that video onto YouTube as well. And then you can also email us for any questions, even though some people have been doing that on Twitter as well. It totally works. Song suggestions, anything that we got wrong, keep it to yourself.
Yeah, I was like, why are you bringing that up? That's something that's most likely you that you got something wrong.
It's because I talk the most.
Yeah.
Are you guys talking about like when you go off of cards that were actually tricks in the first place,
right.
trolls? Are you reporting news, the fake news?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, don't even talk about that.
that was bad.
Oh, why are you bringing that up, Trombley? That was my bad on that one, kind
That was
of.
hilarious.
It's pretty
The
embarrassing.
best part is, I didn't know it was a troll until you guys told on the next podcast that you got trolled.
We admit when we're wrong. We are very humbled by all of you, even just listening, but for being wrong and telling us, that's also humbling.
And then you can go on our Patreon account, and not on our account, that'd be kind of weird, but you can go to Patreon.
How'd you get a password?
You guys have your account? I just need your social. You can forward that to me.
Go to Patreon. That's the way you can actually give us money, and we will also give you proxies in return.
It could be a free way if you give us $1.
Right.
Do you guys understand what free means?
But like Lowery said, we are going to do that pack giveaway for our patrons from
last
July.
month.
Yeah,
so if you want to join up, that'd be great, but you're not in on the packs.
Yeah,
I'm
but
sorry.
we will do another drawing in the future. But we actually are going to tweak that a little bit. We'll tell people when we get to that point.
To the next point, yeah.
I think that's it we didn't have any more patrons this week, so let's move into
gameplay.
Well, actually, let's get to know Trombley.
No. Oh yeah,
Let's get to know Trombley. We talk about Trombley all the time, so.
You guys don't know me by now?
Yeah, we didn't grow up with Trombley. He's not a cousin, so he can't be a CommanderSmith, but he can be an honorary CommanderSmith.
Do I get a pin or a badge?
Are we doing that?
And by the way, if you're going to
anybody.
join the show, from now on, it's everybody sings. So that's how Trombley got on. He's singing, and actually he was going to tell me that song. He was like, oh, I got a song that you guys can have. And then we're like, wait, we should have Trombley sing. And that was pretty good. It only took 2 takes.
Yeah. I also it does make me feel better that you guys are as tone deaf as I am. 'Cause if you guys were good at that, I'd be like, no, guys, I'm not singing. I can't hit a note.
But yeah, so we actually haven't known Trombley for, it's been a while, but not since
about 10 years.
Yeah,
I'd say.
I mean, we're 30. What am I? 36.
You're 36.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
He's the one that cares
in
about
the
his
past
birthday.
about 10 years or so.
But you played Magic before we met you, so
Yep.
kind of give us a little.
I started Magic back in, I think, pretty early on in Magic itself. I was in 5th, 6th grade, which would have put me at 94 or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, I think Magic was in 92 or something like that, or 93.
Yep.
Pretty close. But anyways, it kind of blew up, and I was playing with all my friends in elementary school. We had our Magic cards. That was in the days when Singer Vampire was
King.
the kick.
Yeah, that
was
card
just
was awesome.
kick
Queen.
ass.
Sarah
And-
Angel.
Yeah,
Sarah Angel. I'm
Sarah's
sorry.
the white, and
What-
you had it right. Senjar Vampire.
Yeah,
That's the one where I
totally.
think when it deals damage and that creature dies,
Yep,
you
he
get a
gets
1/1
a- well,
counter.
That's what vampires used to be.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then they're like, let's make them good.
Yep. So I played back then and played for a couple of years, and then through junior high, kind of lost touch with it. We just didn't play anymore, and I completely lost touch with Magic itself until I'd say. Actually, not too long before I met you guys, Magic the Gathering on the Xbox is what got me back into Magic.
Oh, was that the?
Do you remember when that?
Yeah.
Duels of the Planeswalker.
Yeah,
Yeah,
when they released on a Magic or on a Xbox, because I've always been a huge video game nerd, and I was like, "Fuck, I haven't played Magic for years. I'm gonna start playing that." So I started playing that, and actually got our other friend Jeremy, who you guys talked about.
Who we talk about?
Yeah, who
If you follow him on Twitter, he posts a lot of pizza stuff.
Or Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew stuff where it's like, I want to win. Just tweet the do. Oh, Jeremy. Although I did catch you do the do thing too.
I actually did it first.
Oh, you did?
I did it, and then I think he saw that I did it, and he posted it. Hell yeah, I want to win that.
Yeah. Did you win?
No, of course not.
It's pyramid scheme.
It's a click of a button.
Yeah.
You know, it didn't really cost me anything, no time or effort. But
We should get that for our podcast. Just like a click of the button that people share our stuff.
Oh, it's called retweeting. We just,
that's all we did.
do that.
That's all I did for the Mountain
Just
Dew.
retweet Meat
we just
Force.
need something interesting to retweet, which
Pictures of dick sleeves. Because we are obsessed with dicks.
no,
What?
we are not. Adam,
Be careful that too. We want pictures of dick sleeves. Soon enough, someone's just gonna drop the sleeves, and you're just gonna get straight dick pics.
I'm okay with that.
You heard it. You heard it, guys. Everybody's saying tickets.
I can cut all this. I have control.
Okay, so back to that. Anyways, I started playing on the Xbox, and that's how I got to play with a couple buddies, Brandon and our buddy and Jeremy.
Yeah.
Jeremy wanted to try it out, so he got it on Xbox, and then next thing you go, we started buying cards again.
So you guys went and built 60
Like
card
60 card
decks?
decks.
Because we were having fun with the Xbox, and I told Jeremy, hey, I've got all my old cards. We should start buying. So we went and bought and started doing 60 card decks, and we did that for a couple of years, I want to say, until then Magic, oddly enough, brought all of us together.
Yeah. We actually had, so we did like a guys' weekend or cousins' weekend kind of was what it was. Wasn't it before that?
well, we were
Actually,
doing
I
cousins
think-
weekends, and then
we turned it into guys' weekend. I think it was the
my
same year.
brother-in-law
Yep.
invited you guys up because there were nursing connections and work and stuff
Jeremy
like that.
and your brother-in-law have
Well,
hung
my
out.
sister actually, yeah.
Right, but he and Vince have hung out,
Okay,
and stuff, and gone snowboarding together.
Actually, it was Julian and Shannon worked together, wasn't it, too?
Yes.
Yeah. Julian was there the first year. Now we're just throwing out names.
Yeah,
we're just
just-
gonna,
you guys will
and then
never know what you're
Alex,
gonna
and then Ben, and none of those people exist. But
There are plenty of Alexes and Bens.
well,
It's
yeah,
not
but
that we
not that
are
came up to
associated
guys'
with-
weekend. So, anyways, they came up because what you got invited because you guys
Yeah, we got invited.
snowboard.
And play Magic.
Yeah,
And
that's
Vincent told us that, hey, my family, they snowboard and play Magic. You guys should come up. One of those things where, like, I don't know anybody else, so I was like, sure,
Yeah.
But we had our group together, basically. It was like Jeremy, Grant, myself, and Brandon. We were all going to be going up there, so I was like, all right, even if I don't know these other guys and like them, at least I got my buddies I can hang out with. It's cool. We get to go stay at a cabin for like a cheap
Yeah,
So
it was
you're
like
using
a
us.
ton of us in
Oh,
there.
I'm
Yeah.
totally
using
you
us,
guys.
pretty
Yeah.
Sure, for sure. I still use you guys. When are we going on a guys' weekend again,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. We missed this year so far because my stupid building house shit. But
But yeah, so I remember I'm sure you guys remember it too. Like, we got up there, and within like 5 minutes, I'm like, these guys are super cool. Like, we were all drinking on that Friday.
I don't remember that.
yeah,
I
the
don't-
first night was pretty
We
brutal.
were
I was
drinking.
so drunk.
I don't think we were playing much Magic that
No.
night. No, it was just straight like drinking games.
I believe that is the one where you we got out to go snowboarding and you slept in your car.
that might have been that.
Is that the first year?
That might, yeah.
Because then the second year we still drank a lot.
Oh yeah, I can't remember. I don't know if that was the first year or second year, but yes, there's a
The
story.
second year was the punching. You and Grant were punching each other in the head and
too much drinking. Then Friday nights. We've had a history of Friday nights go way too
Yeah,
hard, and then Saturdays is hungover, and then just relax Magic for like the rest of Saturday.
But the funny thing is you guys came up with 60 card decks,
Yeah,
and Lowery
we
and
never
I,
played Commander.
and was Jake playing at that point?
Yes.
So it was me, Lowery, and Jake playing,
Yeah.
and then you guys were like, "What is this freaking
Yeah, we never
Commander
heard of
shit?" And then as soon as you guys got back, you guys all got Commander decks, but we didn't play. We actually didn't connect that year.
Until a year later.
A year later, when Brandon got hurt,
Brandon got so a year later we're snowboarding.
we did it again. It was
Our
just like our yearly thing. We were
Yep,
going up to
we
play
started doing
Magic.
it, and we exchanged numbers that previous year because we're like we hit it off. We all hung
Yeah.
out and stuff like that. We're like totally hang out and nothing.
I remember what happened though. I took your guys' numbers and I put it in my backpack that I never mess with. Like
is
I
a
put it
great
back in the
excuse.
closet because I remember I got back out to Lutz and I was like, "Hey, you guys, you should give me your number." And I opened my backpack. I was like, "Oh, never mind. It's all right here." I never opened the.
In your defense, it's a two-way street because we didn't contact you in that year either.
But then that year, Brandon got injured snowboarding when he actually was trying to throw a snowball at me, caught an edge, and flipped and freaking
was
messed
gruesome.
his back
It looked
up.
gruesome.
Yeah,
Like,
it was bad.
He fell. He got a bruise. That doesn't sound bad, but if you saw that picture, it looked like
It was a bone bruise.
It,
It was a
looked,
bone
it looked
bruise.
like his leg
True.
was about to fall off because it was more purple than any other color.
But you guys played soccer like
Yeah, so
intramural
we played
soccer.
Intramural rec soccer, and Brandon couldn't play because he could barely walk at that point. And the next day we had a soccer game, and Adam, you played
Yeah,
soccer.
I played soccer in high school and everything. So I was like, hey, if you guys need a sub, and then it was boom.
They never asked me, and I played soccer in elementary school, like after lunchtime.
It's called kickball, Lowry.
No, it was legit soccer where it was me and one other kid that kicked a ball.
That's
Gee.
just you two.
Oh shoot! I
called
can't believe we
pass.
never asked you.
But yeah, so then I started playing with you guys, and then we started playing Magic. Remember, Lowery wasn't there
Dude,
because you were at the
Oh,
farm.
that sucked. Okay, so I used to work on the
2-month
farm
period.
all the time.
There was that
And-
2-month period, by the way. I hurt my shoulder, and I was
Oh,
out of work
yeah.
for 2 months.
You guys played like 2-3 times a week, and I was down for harvest. It
was like my place, then
every
Trombley's
other
place,
day, it
then
was like,
Jeremy's
we're playing. Can you make it? I'm like, I'm fucking down here still. Stop playing.
Then we were
We
joking around. We're
seriously
like,
played like 4 days a week because I was off work. Adam was flexible, and actually, and so was Jeremy and Gret. So
Yeah.
we were playing like 4 days a week.
and then we were like, when
really
Lowery
sucked.
gets back, we should just say we can't play anymore.
We burnt out.
which is normal. Which is normal.
But yeah, then we played quite a bit. We played at least a couple times a month. That was the most Magic I played
Yeah.
in that year span, at least. And then,
We were playing a shit ton.
yeah,
And that's
so then
when the second Commander product came out with like Derevi and so that's set, and that was right around that time.
Is it
Just to give you
Laurel,
guys.
right?
Oloro.
Laurel,
yeah.
Yep.
That was when I bought my first Commander deck.
Yeah.
Because we got into that, and I was like, and at that time, I think we might have been using like your guys' like I might have
The
been
first
on-
year, the first year you did, the second
Borrowing
year
some
you guys
stuff.
had bought yours by that point, or
but
made
as-
your own.
When a Laurel came out, that was the first one I had bought, and then I started tweaking it, and
Yeah.
then moved on from there. But so we've been playing Magic with you guys ever since then, I guess.
Yeah.
At this point, it's been what, like 6, 7, 8 years or something like that.
Maybe 8 years.
And so this is like when we talk about the play group, this is basically it's
Playing ever since the chicken patty year for me, right?
Yeah.
when you made
Yeah.
Yeah, when you were down in
chicken
Nebraska.
patty.
No,
and-
no.
No, when he made the
Well, that
chicken
would've
patty
been the year.
sandwiches, where it was like 8 of them.
Oh yeah.
No,
And then
it
a
was
spaghetti
not 8.
mixed
I
in
had
with it?
11.
Was
of
that
them.
Oh, sorry.
Was that the same year as the meat bucket, or was that the previous?
No, meat bucket was the year after, where we grilled up, or we made about 4 or 5 pounds of meat. Me and my brother.
Yeah, I was gonna
split
say when
that.
you say we, it's just 2 people.
just me and my brother Grant.
I just want to be clear. They had an ice cream bucket, like just those
the
big
best
buckets,
idea I've ever had.
and it had a lid on it. You open
Brats,
the lid, and all it
bacon,
was a
sausage,
filled to the top with just a
burgers.
smorgasbord of random cooked meats, and it was like the two of them just grab spoonfuls and eat it. It's like you're dipping into ice cream, and it's just straight meat.
That was the last year that my brother
Meat
Grant
Force.
was fat with me.
Yeah, meat force.
That's,
hey, that's where we're getting it from. Oh, really?
yeah,
I'm
totally.
the meat guy. I think you're the meat guy.
You're the guy that likes the meat force. I like meat buckets.
You just like meat in your mouth.
Maybe that could be our.
You like the force of the
We
meat?
could do a YouTube meat bucket.
Yeah, meat bucket. Maybe that's
What?
meat bucket. Is that your? Maybe
Oh, there we go. There's the there we go. Meat bucket.
Meat
Yeah,
bucket.
All right,
YouTube is going to be
change
meat
it. Go
bucket.
back. Meat
Yeah.
bucket. Hashtag meat bucket.
Still fits the dick theme.
Yeah.
It's a dick in a bucket.
Okay, so let's.
Is there anything else you'd like to defend yourself with before we get into the rest of the episode?
I don't think I need to yet. I will defend counterspells and that
whatever.
that Adam's a hypocrite.
Whatever.
He is.
But,
Did I play a counterspell tonight? I was playing blue. I didn't have
you
a single
tonight. You
counterspell.
didn't tonight.
You know, Yarok, there could use counterspell. I mean, it'd be bad.
I mean, and in
but-
fairness too, maybe you should have. Maybe your night would have
It
gone a
doesn't
little
fit
better.
with the theme. I can't do it.
I don't know. Your theme wasn't working in the first place.
that's a great segue into gameplay.
Oh,
we're
let's
gonna
see
do
this
gameplay.
douchey deck here. Why don't you show us your deck?
So this
No,
could
I'm
be my
just
first and last time on the podcast.
Yeah,
after that
exactly.
comment.
We'll see how the audio turns out here.
kidding. Yeah, so we played about, let's see, 5 games? I think 5 games. Kaalia, you played, that's going to be our spotlight deck,
Sure,
by the way.
yep.
First, third, fourth, fifth.
No, I didn't win first. You did. I was
Yeah,
dominating.
Yeah.
I played Kykawr, Yawgmoth, Golos. Yeah. Okay, so we got 5 games in.
So as you can tell, Lowery likes to build decks because I was playing my new deck and I only played one deck the entire night. Lowery's playing his new deck and it was 3 fucking decks. He's like, I got to play this one because I just made this one yesterday. I
I've
got
never
to play
played
this one
any of
because I
them.
made this one last night because I make decks like so fucking fast.
I have like the Rian from the core set buy a box. I built that this week.
Oh, good for you.
Oh my God.
I don't know. I gotta put and then I'll do something with these Commander stuffs that's coming out.
I gotta side with Adam on this one. You guys texted today about playing Magic tonight, and my response back was, "This is like 12 hours beforehand." I'm like, "Well, I better
Start making my deck.
make my decks. I know I'm doing the rest of the day. I gotta modify my decks for the next 12 hours."
Yeah, and it took you the entire time because I got here and you were just
for 2 decks.
Yeah.
2 decks.
Yeah, so you build decks like a normal person. Lowery just builds decks daily. Like, that's part of his daily routine. He's like, okay, I got little Lowery down. All right.
Actually, I think that's a really good description of what's going on.
Yeah.
Who's Little Lowry?
My son.
Okay,
I'm not talking about his penis.
Yeah. Just want to clarify.
I mean,
I knew what Little Lowry was, but I don't know if all the listeners
Well,
know.
in Lowry's
difference
opinion,
would be
that's
like-
a big Lowery down there.
Not
It was
true.
more like you got Little Lowry down. That's part of his ritual. You
You gotta say it twice whenever it's. I got a little Lowry down, and then after that, I got a little Lowry down.
Oh.
Now I can make a magic deck.
Now I can make a magic. Yeah, exactly.
You made your little Lowery throw up?
God, I hope not. Which one are we talking
No,
about?
I'm talking about your penis.
Oh.
This is a masturbation joke.
Either way.
All right, so
Oh, way too clever for me.
Trombley got it. You were taking a little bit there. All right, so first game, actually, what did you do? Turn 1
Turn 1, I think I had Soul Ring. I dropped my
Into
mana.
into...
Rakdos
Wait, you had an
Signet.
option with your
I
Soul
had-
Ring.
Yeah, so I had I dropped the land, which dropped the Soul Ring.
Shit.
Right, which dropped the Rakdos Signet. So it was
Or you
pretty-
could have done what?
Divining Top.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Sensei Divining Top.
but I decided it was smarter this way. That way, turn 2 I could play Kaalia.
Yeah, which
With
they
an
were-
extra mana
which they were
into
fans
Sensei
of,
Top.
yeah.
Yeah.
and then turn 3 was into Gisela.
So you attack
Yeah.
with Kaalia.
Yeah.
on
Did
turn
the damage
3.
to Lowery in that one.
Yep.
So that was 14 on turn 4.
And then no, that was turn 3. Turn 4 was me, and then turn 5 was me dead because I needed a double attack. Or no, you triple attacked me because you played. That
The
was
seize the day. So a little bit of a theme that we'll get into with the spotlight is that there's multiple attack steps, which allows Kaalia to throw out more, dragons.
which is an
demons,
awesome idea
angels,
with that deck
for sure.
because you're able to get everything out of there. And
More
then
triggers.
you almost pulled it off. We actually considered you the winner of that game.
I was mostly scooped up, and then I was like, "Oh, you need to pay 3 to attack me." I had collective restraint, which means whenever you're attacked by any creature, it's like a fuck.
You're talking about Ghostly Prison.
It's like a ghostly
propaganda.
prison,
I had to
but
pay
for
to
the amount of
attack.
basic lands that I control, which was 3 different types. And once I was like, "Ah, fuck, you can't attack me." All of those combat steps.
Yep.
And so we figured
He
it
still
out.
got you down to,
I
like-
was down to like 2.
Yeah.
Yep, and it was just that very last one, which I could have was it retrace the ability or what is it?
yeah.
I was gonna be able to play from the graveyard that last one for a kill, but I did not have mana to
Yeah, you
actually
were-
attack.
Yeah, you were,
that's
I
where
think,
I was short.
5 mana short to even cast it and then
Right.
even to attack with
Yep.
it.
But
But it was pretty brutal. It was awesome. Like, because I had already started writing the notes to it. I'm like, all right, Trombley killed us both with triple attacks. And then Lowery remembered because he really wants to win. So he made sure that he figured that out. Multiple times during this
It's true.
these
You-
matches,
you
you were
did
like,
stand up and
"Hey,
give me the
hey,
finger.
you guys you're messing
aggressive.
with your land. How do you have more land than me? What? You're cheating. You're cheating." I'm like, "Cause I have this." No.
I never said you're cheating. I just was
You
wondering how
implied
you
it.
got
You
that.
totally
Your
did.
tone implied
Just
it.
because you're sensitive does not mean that
You didn't
was
only
gonna
do it
say
to me.
that.
You did it to Trombley
Turns out
too.
Lowery gets so Lowery's thing, as you guys all know, I'm sure the listeners know, is he mana ramps like nobody's
Yeah,
business.
and
Like,
so when
they
you
talk
have
about this, but
more-
for fuck's sake, when you play against Lowery regularly, you look over on turn 3 and he's got 7 mana. You're like, what the fuck?
How do you do
And-
that?
And you quit asking because after I've learned, because I'll ask him like, Lowery, how did you get that? And then he explains, and it's all legal, and so it's just annoying. And I just assume it's his magic, it's his wizardry over there.
Yes.
But what I love is he does this all the time. And Adam's right. What? 2 different times in this game, he's like, "How did you get so much mana?"
That game specifically was at least twice.
Yeah, he got so
That
mad.
was a couple more. I didn't get mad.
Yeah.
Well, you were definitely
You
offended
were
that someone
pretty
had
pissed.
more mana than you because that's your thing.
But yeah, so you won that game, which kind of was a Trombley. It was. Did you drink that all yourself, Lowery? You are
Maybe.
staying the night. Have only gotten one.
Sleeping
Yeah,
buddy.
you guys should fill up though.
All right, refill. So then game 2, I think then Trombley actually. You guys kind
That's
of
when I switched to- I
alternated.
That
switched
seems low. Oh my god.
Wow, Lowery,
Game
you
2,
drink
I
a lot.
went to Grand Arbiter.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
won with that
So wait, turn 1 Soul Ring again.
Yep.
Turn 1 Soul Ring. Yeah.
Hey,
Okay.
they're bitching
But
about this,
I
but
won
just
with
to be
Kykawr,
clear,
by the way.
they're
That's
also
just-
cutting my deck.
Yeah, but turn 1 Soul Ring, he got that. Oh, we should note, we did start doing the draw 10 cards and then put 3 on the bottom. So that, I actually liked that. I did.
love it.
We did
Yeah,
have
no
to,
shit. You get Soul Ring every
Soul
game.
Ring.
Literally 3 or 4 out of the 5 games you got Soul
He
Ring.
had 4.
For,
Yeah.
like,
I thought you only had 1 game where you didn't have Soul Ring, right?
It was awesome. Also, it helps that I have 4 soul rings in there.
You're yeah, exactly.
oh, I just drew my second Soul Ring. Let's not play that.
I thought you were pulling my brother, where Joe every time had Soul Ring into Sensei's top. Whenever what deck was it that he was playing? Kaalia.
It was Kaalia.
Oh
Yeah, yeah.
man, it's weird.
Soul ring and Kaalia go well.
But you ended up playing Grand Arbiter. You had Kaalia, what, 3 times? Yeah, because we played 2 short games
I
where
only
you fucking
I only
annihilated
play
us.
Arbiter once.
So, yeah, Grand Arbiter, what that does is that makes your opponents cast 1 more for each spell.
So it was a turn 2.
Turn 2, I had Arbiter.
It was a turn 2 Arbiter.
Which I was able to do stuff, but then Lowery was like not doing anything because he really needed that extra.
What he did was
And so then he killed Lowery,
Because
and then-
turn 1 he went land, Soul Ring into Spellskite.
Yeah.
Turn 2 he
Yeah,
went
you
into
did
Grand
try to kill
Arbiter.
it.
I
That was a
had
good
Path
play.
to Exile in my hand, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
But
I was
actually,
like, I had to pay 2 on turn 2 for Path to Exile, and he pays 2 life to redirect it over to Spellskite.
the best part was Trombley had never
And we
played
do nothing after
Spellskite before, so like Larry's like, I kill your Grand Arbiter, and Trombley's like, okay, and then Larry's like, you have a Spellskite, pay the 2 life and redirect it. Oh, I've never got to play this before, so yeah, I'll do that.
Just bought it, so I did not have the mindset of like, oh yeah, it does this.
It does take a little bit for
Yeah.
Spellskite when you're not used to it. Like Lowry, I wasn't used to it either, and you're just like, oh yeah, I can do that.
Luckily for me, Lowery's an honest and helpful player, so he's like, don't kill
Spellskite
Grand
should have been
Arbiter.
on my top 5 creatures. I love that card.
It's super good.
Yeah. Well, I was surprised you didn't put it in there.
I am surprised as well.
Not.
I surprise me sometimes. Sorry.
All right. I don't even know. Okay, so
We're
the
talking
games
about
all
that
blended
game.
together though,
Yeah.
so I don't remember.
And after- so
I just
after
know that
Grand
I
Arbiter-
didn't
I
win
won
any.
with that Grand
Grand Arbiter, yeah.
I ramped that.
Because what was the blue-white spirit, that 3/6 or 3/5 double strike
Well,
flying?
Oh
thing?
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Lifelink.
Drogue
Right, so
Skull,
I got to draw
whatever
2
his
cards
name
every
is.
time I tag.
Yeah, and you were doing that. You did that turn 3.
Yep.
And then turn 4 into the Ambassador Sphinx.
Ambassador Sphinx.
That was pretty brutal.
That's a sweet
And-
card.
Yeah, because you got to go through my deck and takes. Yeah, that's how you won.
So
And
I
then-
went, I
yeah.
went took Avenger of Zendikar out of your deck because the whole thing with that
and then
one is
followed
the
up
whole
with
one-
Craterhoof Behemoth, my game winner.
That whole one is where you get to name. If you name the card I randomly pick, I don't get to keep it. So I purposely didn't.
Oh,
go
yeah, that's right.
because I assumed you were gonna say Craterhoof. So I'm like, I gotta go with what card that's one less, not quite as good as Craterhoof.
And then you didn't actually attack me with the Sphinx the second time. It was bribery used
Right,
to
I
win the
stole-
game.
Yeah,
so he
bribery.
stole it from my deck, which sucks.
And by that time, I had just played Kykawr, and that's it.
Yeah.
So it was kind of brutal at that point.
Well, I had 10 creatures out, so Craterhoof everything was +10/+10.
Yeah. So it didn't matter, Lowry.
What if I had Holy Day? Which is fog for white.
Yeah.
For people that
you
don't
play
know Holy
that,
Day.
right?
No, I haven't for
Yeah.
a really long time. I used to. Man, I should just make a green-white fog deck. Fuck you guys.
Turbo Fog. All right, so
Have to be blue, though.
then the next one you want. You guys kind of alternated. I was always in the games, like ramping.
No, he wasn't.
Oh, you're fucking
It's
dick.
cute that he thought he was.
All right. So
Little guy
Lowry's
gets to sit at the
drinking,
big
he's a
boy
dick.
table.
So the third game I played Yawgmoth from the
yeah.
Modern Horizons.
You just
and
controlled
that
that
deck
game.
was fucking. That game or that deck was awesome. I
Yeah, that worked
really
really
enjoyed
well.
it.
You could
Even when I tried to
game.
kill it, I played
The blue black pirate from Ixalan.
Hostage Taker.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
took Hostage Taker, and I was going to take. I had Yawgmoth out, so I was killing 2 of Lowry's things, and then he killed mine, so they came right
You
back.
had
And I was
Yarok.
like,
You can't
God
have
damn it!
Yawgmoth out. Fucking cheater.
Well,
no, that's where I thought you were cheating.
You killed Kaalia with it right away, and
Yeah.
then you had like was it?
I had Phyrexian Obliterator out and nobody's blocking it. I was like, yeah, I'll swing at 5.
Plus, you had a bunch of creatures just sitting there, so it's like I knew I couldn't replay a Kaalia.
Gutter Bones was really great. Besh suggested that to me, added that in.
We have to note that Lowery started to cheat in the beginning because he wasn't taking life every time he was doing his sacrificing creatures.
This is the first time I've ever played the deck. You're going to make mistakes sometimes.
But yeah, so the game winner actually
took the life.
Was the Rise of the Dark Realms because I had the obnoxious with the whatchamacallit,
Crucible
Worlds. So I was going to be able to kill Lowery because everybody's life was really freaking low. Because
I was at 10.
Yeah, Trombley and I made a little pact because Lowery was about to take a second turn, and I was like, dude, I won't kill you until Lowery's dead. If you take half the life, so he doesn't take an extra turn.
What is the name? Temporal Extortion. That card is great in mono black.
Yeah, I was at 19, so I went down to 10 just to keep you from getting an extra turn.
Which was a good play because he
was tapped out on mana, so I knew he couldn't do anything else at this point if we did
and he couldn't attack Trombley because, or he could, but he had so many 1/1s that he couldn't kill Trombley.
And also, I had Ghostly Prison, and because if he didn't get an extra turn, he couldn't because he was completely tapped out. So I knew it was probably better.
But the thing with Temporal Extortion is that you play that in your first main phase, so that forces people to decide if they want to lose that life before you've hit them with like damage and then they lose the life. Like it kind of it negates some of the damage that you already did.
It's a larger amount they have to sacrifice.
So that's just a little suggestion if you're playing with that card.
So then the Rise of the Dark Realms, he took freaking everything
I mean,
from our graveyards.
1/1 harpies with.
I was still like, I'm gonna get this like a lot because Lowery was at 10?
I was at 18.
12? No. You went down to 12.
I was at 13.
And so, but you were losing life every time. But then what happened was you got the thing that made it so that you could sacrifice and not lose life. Or
I had Zulaport Cutthroat.
That's what you brought back.
So like when you sacrifice a creature, you get to gain a life. Everybody loses a life. And so it kind of negated whatever life I was going to lose.
He had about 20 creatures out, so he was able to just sacrifice them.
40.
You're like, nah, I had like 40.
A lot.
That was a flex right there.
Are we talking about all the creatures you took from us? Because
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so I'm saying, like, when you had all those, it was like 40. And
I had 28 harpies and then everybody else's stuff. Yeah,
I didn't have small creatures in my deck, so you're taking big ones left and right.
That's what she
that's
said.
a great thing about Rise of the Dark Realms.
Yeah. You're taking big ones left and right.
I've never had anybody do that to me. It's really weird. Yeah.
How does it feel to be in the middle, Lowery?
Menage a trois.
Menage a trois.
This is what they call a man-witch.
Meat-witch.
Meat bucket.
YouTube #meatwitch. Meat bucket.
This podcast is only going to be us like Beavis and Butthead laughing back and forth. Just,
in fairness, that's what most of your podcasts are like. And we like it that way. And we like it that way.
So I really liked the Yawgmoth deck. It's the first game I ever played with it. Felt really controlling. Felt like I did all right. I think again, all of these games would turn different if we had a fourth player.
Fourth person does add a dynamic,
but for 3,
it was a good way to get.
Really liked
3 is good to get the test going. A lot of games.
Yeah, the games were a lot quicker.
That's true. You get a lot more play. I suppose it's harder when you have 4 people and you only get 2 games in a night because they last so long.
So then we move into the last 2, and that's both the Kaalia deck won both those 2, and you won that in a span of an hour for two
that
games.
Game was like less than 20 minutes.
20, it was like 25 minutes. Yeah. So what was the second game? Was that with the Sarah Ascendant you had?
Yeah, I dropped Sarah Ascendant.
The fifth game.
So it's instead of a Soul Ring, he dropped a turn 1 Sarah's Ascendant. So he had a 6/6 flying lifelink. Yeah, that seems fair.
See how many times
I think Kaalia players
Adam
that's part of
just about every other reason. You played a card better than mine. I hate that.
Let me take this opportunity to apologize for making good decks. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I offended you with that.
When did Lowery number 2 get here?
Why don't you? I'm sorry. What are the kids saying? Why don't you get good?
Get good.
But yeah,
Are kids saying that?
They do.
Okay.
I play enough video games that when I hear the little kids, you tell it. When I get schooled by like the 12-year-olds online, they're like, get good.
They've been hit puberty.
Drop your balls.
Yeah. Yeah, they haven't even hit puberty, but they make me look ridiculous.
Yeah. All right.
So I think the first one you had another Soul Ring, wasn't it? I mean, I thought it was like 4
I mean,
games.
let's
You
just call
drew
it.
you
Let's
drew
just-
into one at least. You didn't start out.
I
With
just-
a
Oh,
I-
that's right.
I-
It was
Because I didn't have one, and I drew it, I just started laughing, and you guys were like, what? And I just immediately flip it over, and of course you did.
I don't even remember how you won that game. You just won with Kaalia and dragons and demons and shit.
And so this is where I would say like Kaalia is really advantaged in like a 1v1 or a 3-person game.
4 would have been a little more difficult. Those
Potentially,
last-
I mean,
for sure.
Kaalia was still tossing out a ton of damage.
It is, but when you have something that powerful and you have 3 people that can work together, that definitely slows someone down.
Yeah, because I had the option, because what he was also doing was protecting Kaalia. You had 2 things. You had the 2 equipment. You had the helm that gives it 2+2 and hexproof if it's legendary, and you had lightning greaves.
Yep.
And so I had acidic slime. Acidic slime, is that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I don't know what you had.
but I had that in my hand, so I could have destroyed one of them, but I couldn't destroy the creature unless I had another player, because Lowery wasn't doing anything except for dying.
I was playing Golos for the last 2 games, by the way. Which
The
is just
funny thing is when
land ramp.
when you didn't win, you just died so easily. Like, you just didn't even put up a fight. It was like, Adam, do you have an answer? But then when you win, you're like, yeah, I'm the one that's fucking rampant and shit. But
See,
when you just died, so I was the only one playing.
Here's the difference
every
between the
time.
games. When Trombley didn't focus on me and kill me pretty quick, I won. When he focused on me, you still lost.
No, the game that I got killed, the very first game was me getting killed within
Super
fourth
quick.
turn.
Yeah, and I won. See the difference there? When I get knocked out super quick, I lose, but you also lose.
So what you're saying, Lowery, is like the key to any success is kill you, and
Yes.
don't worry about Adam until you have to.
Oh, I like that. Let's do that from now on. Oh, that's the new motto.
I mean, in fairness, that's what we did tonight. It worked pretty well.
In the 2 games you did not kill me by turn 5, I won. And that's what, with Golos, I would say, like, it definitely needs a 4th player. Like, it's just too slow with all these comes into play.
Yeah, you didn't have
Tap lands.
You
I
just
didn't
had
do
set up
much.
the entire game.
Yeah, and
You said you had a lot that you could have done that next turn, but then
I didn't. Yeah,
You
it
didn't
still
have a
wouldn't
board
have won
presence.
against a bunch of like flying creatures, so I still would have died. And I think Yarok probably looked like a 4-person game at least as well, because you just don't want to be offending because you're already very bitter, but I think it takes a little bit more time for you to get there.
And I was saying while we were playing it, is Yarok seems more like I don't need Yarok out, especially with 3-player. I need to be a little bit quicker. And so by playing with a 4-person game, you can take a turn off by, okay, turn 5, I play Yarok out and do whatever. Then my next turn I'm setting up. With this, I always felt like I needed the bonus to get... I needed something else happening with my creatures. Everything has ETB, so I needed that bonus. And so a lot of times I was skipping on Yarok. I didn't play Yarok the first game at all because we were so far behind with Kaalia out with fucking turn 2 Kaalia. So I was like, I can't even play Yarok out because it just doesn't make sense. I need to get other things, other answers.
And so I think if things are going really fast, like Yarok is just probably too slow because you're still trying to get that advantage, but it never worked in your favor. But if you would have played Yarok, you would have been so far behind.
And the other thing is
didn't matter.
Throwing in that I didn't put a soul ring or I didn't put any mono rocks in just because of the theme trying to fit with that.
Yeah.
Like if I really wanted to tweak it now and be like, okay, I want to make this deck really good or whatever, I would actually add those other things in.
Don't you mean like okay?
Nah.
No, I agree. You should probably add in some of the because you do have like a higher curve.
Yeah,
on your,
because
like
the
you just need
general
to be able
is
to
a
get there
5
more
mana
consistently.
casting cost, and it really needs to be out to get the bonuses from the ETB stuff. And so I think if I don't know if I'll change it though, because I kind of like keeping that theme and see if I want to see how it works with a 4-person. Actually, is
You
what I
didn't
want
really
to do
seem
next.
like you liked losing though that much.
Oh, that was fine. I was always second.
Was it
except for the
fine?
first
I
one?
was always second.
I was always second. It was the middle of the pack.
Yeah, I guess that's good enough for
Yeah.
you. I mean,
I'm
I'm
good.
going for first, but to each his own.
Okay, so that was pretty much gameplay there. Now we actually are going to do Spotlight with our Soul
Trombley's
Ring deck. I mean, Kaalia deck.
Sol Ring deck.
Should
That's
we check
fine.
how we're
You can go whatever you want.
sounding?
All right, so let's move into the Spotlight deck. The
Spotlight deck. That was awful.
Nailed it.
Definitely.
The
It's
sound
spiking
looks
everything.
amazing
Yeah,
right there.
no, that's gonna be.
It's going to
pretty.
be... No, should I
intense.
slow that down? Okay.
I've been told I have the voice of a generation.
I don't even know what that means.
Like the 1600s.
I'll take it.
Why
Which
did I
generation?
laugh at that?
That's-
That was not even funny.
That was the voice of a
That was
century.
so stupid. It's like gave you like a fucking pity laugh, and then I'm mad at myself because I laughed at it.
I love the shame laugh. Basically, you're like laughing. You're ashamed of it. You're like.
That's what
oh
I
my
feel like
God.
most of the episodes are, where you're like, "That was good, Lowery. You're so funny."
All right, so what do we have for our commander here?
Kaalia of the Vast.
The
That sounds
old-
awful. What happens? What does that?
What's it
commander
do?
Yeah.
It may
Way
sound
to set it up,
awful.
Larry. Hey, tell us what that card
All right.
does.
So it is a cost 4, 1 colorless, 1 plain, 1 swamp, and 1 mountain to get it out. It's got flying. Whenever Kaalia the Vast attacks an opponent, you may put an angel, demon, or dragon creature card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped and attacking that opponent.
So this is one of
That
the
sounds bad.
OGs.
It's a 2/2, by the way.
Sounds
This,
pretty bad.
this commander, if you don't kill it right away, you're kind of fucked because there's
Yeah.
so many combos. Not combos. It's not even that. It's just it comes out
Power.
for free. It's
It's cheating on mana.
yeah. So and it's original OG.
Yeah,
This is from the first commander set, right? Yes.
This was actually before my time, before
Yeah.
I played Commanders when this out, which is part of the reason I wanted to do it, because I missed the Kaalia wave. So to me, it was new, even though it's been around forever.
And you got one from the commander arsenal.
Yeah.
Nice. So you got a foil one. Nice. Very nice. So, what's the idea of this?
What's the theme?
Do you play with fairies?
I don't play with fairies.
How about humans?
Wizards? Should I play with fairies?
Yeah, I
Is there
think
any
so.
kind of- is there any
I think
kind
it
of-
would be better.
Is there, any kind,
Saplings?
is there any kind of speculation on fairies or any other kind of creatures?
There are speculation,
speculation.
just not for this
Oh, okay. All right.
deck.
All right. So, well, as you might imagine, I play with angels, demons, and dragons.
Do you have a focus on one or?
I actually don't. So my focus on this deck is I decided I wanted to go.
Is winning.
Yes, my focus is winning, and that's what I do.
See, I'm all about having fun, guys. That's why I play the game. You guys are so
not true.
focused on
This is
winning.
That's
fucking-
interesting. You find it fun to lose?
Yeah.
You didn't look like you're
I
having
just
fun.
don't like seeing you
definitely-
guys cry, so I had to change my decks up so I could actually have fun playing. So you guys
When
won.
Adam acts like this, it's because he's crying
All right,
inside.
that's fine. I mean, I had fun tonight. Lau, did you have fun tonight?
I had fun.
I
when
actually had a lot of fun
Yeah,
tonight. Oh, that was Solari. Sorry.
I mean, we can give you a participation medal if you want. Adam,
Hey, second place.
You played.
No,
If you're not first, you're last.
You're third.
Oh, damn it, that doesn't work.
Not first or last. And actually, that's to our point. To our point, you got
That's why
last.
I said, damn it, doesn't work. All right, so you made some changes to this deck because the last time you played it, I don't think you
It didn't
won.
work as effective. I did.
You didn't win a game?
I did
I'm-
with Armageddon.
Yeah, for sure.
With, oh, yeah, I have
Yeah,
number
I'm
two.
by the way, I'll point out I didn't get Armageddon once tonight because that was the
True.
theme last time. I did twice and really effed everybody.
Well, yeah, twice. Yeah, you're right.
But anyways, the theme that I'm going with this one is, besides getting those out, is ramping to get several attack phases. I want to ramp. First part is ramping. Well, I guess we can go into that.
Yeah, so you have quite a bit here. You
you
have,
said 12.
I have
mana rocks?
12 mana rocks in
so
there.
we got Boros Signet, Chromatic Lantern, Chrome Mox. You got the Rakdos Signet, Orzhov Signet. Oh,
Soul Ring.
Soul Ring.
I'm only seeing one Soul Ring here, though. It really feels like a
Commander
4 or 5.
Sphere,
There was a second one.
Felwar
It
It
Stone.
would not be hilarious.
We got Thran Dynamo, Soul Ring again, Dark Steel Ignet, Soul Ring, surprising, Lotus Petal,
Soul
Coalition.
Ring. And then
3
another
Soul
Soul
Rings.
Ring.
I didn't know. What commander game are you playing?
I thought you can have up to 4.
Oh, yeah, that's right. No.
And I
No, you
would
only has
agree
one
with
Soul
that.
Ring.
You want to be tossing around a lot of
Soul
mana
Rings.
rocks, Soul Rings. As many Soul Rings as you can play in a deck with such a high curve. And so just in case people do know to get rid of Kaalia as fast as possible, you want to still be able to play your deck. And so I think the mana rocks is important.
The interesting thing with Kaalia, though, too, is that it's lower casting cost commander. So a lot of times I think people get stuck in the, well, they're coming out for free. I don't have to worry about the casting cost of my stuff. But the benefit to having all these is that you potentially can cast yours. I don't think you did that very often. You more focused on the multiple attack stuff.
Right. And the other thing that's helpful, I find, is because everybody knows Kaalia's how dangerous it is.
Mm-hmm.
But early game, a lot of times you can't do anything about it. So with those mana rocks, what I noticed from like last time to this time is if you get those mana rocks out, you can get Kaalia out in turn 2 or 3 possibly, depending on your draws.
If you get Soul Ring every game, yes, you get it out turn 2.
But even with any one of those mana rocks, you can likely get it down out in like maybe turn 3 then.
Don't say turn 2 because then that means you have a Soul Ring.
You're right, but even that's turn earlier, and that's super helpful in any game when you get something that powerful, because then that means turn 4 I already have that plus some angel or demon or whatever else hitting.
You have to have the removal. You have to have right away to be able to get rid of Kaalia, and when you don't, you're fucked. And that's what happened. Yep. So, what is the next package?
The next package is like the big theme of the deck, I guess, which is multiple attack phases. Because the whole idea is if I can get a second attack phase, that means I get to trigger a Kaalia again, which means I might get to play 2 big creatures, 2 demons, 2 dragons in one turn without paying any mana for them. So that's my whole thought
Swinging
process.
big balls like dragons and demons is scary. So like you have Scourge of the Throne, which is from Conspiracy. Like if you're attacking somebody with the most life, you get to dethrone and then take another attack step.
Yep, you get another attack step if they have the most life.
Hellkite Charger is
it's the same thing.
You got to pay mana.
You can pay 7, but again, that 7 casting cost doesn't hurt. I mean, that extra 7 doesn't hurt so much if you're getting to play some creatures for free right now.
Mm-hmm.
Aurelia the War Leader. I love this card, and so like being able whenever it attacks, you get another attack phase.
Yep. And then those are the creatures that I have that help do that, and then I basically have like what is it? 5, 6, 7 different instants or sorceries.
You got, like, Response, Seize the Day, which with flashback.
That's what actually killed me, and actually it was Lowery pointing it out that you can flashback that up, and then you can kill Adam.
Everybody likes playing with me.
Yeah,
just like, I basically I would have lost to Waves Aggression without Collective Restraint, which is the retrace version. Relentless Assault is another attack step. I really like Aggravated Assault.
Yeah, because it stays in play. You're able to do it.
It's awesome. An enchantment. It's being able to pay 5 to untap all your creatures. Like, if you have anything and it untaps your lands, like you do with Sword of Feast and Famine, which is not stepping on his touchdown call from last week, Adam. You can basically go infinite with your attack phases. And then Savage Beating. I actually really like this card because you can entwine it, and then you get another attack phase and double strike.
Yep.
Woof.
So right there, I have like close to 10 different ways to get at least a second attack phase in any given turn. So that's kind of what I'm playing off of is the theme of this deck.
And you hit my quota for if you're keeping a theme in there with you have over 7 of them in there. So that it looked like you had what 8 or 9?
Yeah,
9.
If you count the creatures and then those. Yeah, I got 9.
One thing that I think are there any good ones that.
He's saying your deck sucks.
No. What I'm saying is...
Did you put any good ones in there?
That is taken out of context.
Jeez.
No, you literally just...
No, what I'm saying is...
a couple times
are there any that you actually like cut?
No. Honestly,
you basically have most of everything in there.
I basically Googled, you know what I mean? I went in a Magic database and, entered the phrase, like,
extra turn,
or
extra attack step.
Or like, another attack step or something like that, and found every card I could and put it in there.
That makes sense to me.
So what's this next package?
Next package is my draw mechanic. Or they're all my draw mechanics. Like any deck, you guys know you guys talk about this stuff. Like drawing's super important. And the thing I found with Kaalia that'll stall it out is it's great to get down a dragon or get this or that for free. But unless you're drawing, I'm not able to keep up with the momentum that I start to build.
Yeah.
And so especially with the extra attack phase, it's like, I got to put 2 down. I have 0 cards in my hand. This kind of sucks.
Yeah.
So I try to get get some draw in there also.
To be honest with that first game, I didn't see you winning, like even being as close as you did, because when you killed me, you used all your resources to kill me, and Lowery was still at pretty full health. Not full health. I think you hit him first with the the Kaalia and the double damage, but I was like, shit, I don't know how Trombley's going to pull it off, but you almost did because the multiple attacks and everything.
And I had
and drawing, you're able to draw a lot more.
Out, and I could feed off that.
Yeah. So I mean, you have your typical. You have Greed, Mind's Eye, Phyrexian Arena, Blood Gift Demon. The ones that I thought were pretty interesting that you played Indulgent Tormentor. You kept picking Lowery for that one, and it's either they sacrifice a creature or pay 3 life, and then if they don't, you draw a card. The one actually I liked the most because you played this at a perfect time was the Null Spine Dragon, which I didn't even know about this one. This is actually a new card to me. I haven't seen this one before. So it's 5 and 2 red, flying 7/5. When it enters the battlefield, discard your hand and draw cards equal to the damage that was dealt to target opponent this turn. You dealt 14 damage to Lowery that turn and drew 14 cards.
So, and that was the cool thing about that playing that card. If you can swing it or strategically do it. Like what I did is I attacked that turn and I played a free. I don't even remember what it was, but a free card with Kaalia. And I purposely didn't play that one. I left all my mana on tap because I knew that way I could do it. So I did that, got a free card to attack with Lowery, plus whatever I said on the board. It added to 14. I had 1 card left in my hand, plus that. Played that because I hadn't tapped any mana. And then all of a sudden, like you said, I got to draw 14 cards, which, as you guys preach and talk about it, it's so important to be able to...
Well, because up until that point, when you all-out attacked Lowery, I was like, okay, he only has 1 card left. This is good. I can... And then you drew 14 cards. And I was like, fuck! This game is over. Why am I even trying to play anymore? This is done.
Well, I filled that hand right back up with dragons, demons, and angels.
And then you have... Is it Cathopede or Cathoped? Soul Harder?
Cathophed?
Fed?
Kotphd.
No.
Can I get a noun
TH
that goes with it?
If you did a Koth.
Can I get a verb? Can I get a witness?
So it's a flying 6/6. When a permanent by another player is put in the graveyard from battlefield, you draw a card and lose a life. So it's more draw engine. But I really like that. That dragon was freaking brutal in that.
Because you did have that out against my Kykawr deck, and I was creating spirits, which I could sacrifice. I was like, that is a way I could have killed you if you got down low enough, because I could sacrifice, and because you have to draw and have to pay the life. And I was like, if I get you down to like 6 or 7, I could just ping you and kill you. So I had that in the plan, but didn't happen.
But I think I fucked
cool
up.
story, Hansel.
Didn't happen. So what is this your ETB package?
Yes, this is my ETB package. There's only 3 of them, so the whole thing with there's a couple cards that we've gone over that are almost like ETB cards, but they actually, because of Kaalia, the way they get pulled out, they don't actually trigger. But these are the ones that are actual ETBs. So when they come into play, which is great, when Kaalia pulls them out, I automatically get to do these.
Yeah. So you got Angel of Despair here, which is classic. When that comes into play, you get to destroy any permanent. Nice thing is that's a permanent, so you can destroy lands, artifacts, everything, any problem that you're having, like a ghostly prison. That's super sweet. Subjugator Angel, you actually used on me with Kykawr, and that taps all the creatures that opponents control.
This next package is that's what I would call like my commander protection package.
Yeah, so you had Swift Boots, we kind of talked about that before, Champion's Helm, Lightning Greaves, and then sort of Fire and Ice was pretty brutal in that because I wasn't able to block. One of my ideas was to actually use this, ice, the Coldal Snake thing, but I wouldn't have been able to block it. So, but this also untaps your land, so you're able to cast some shit.
Yep.
So is this the only 4 protections you have in it, though?
Yes.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
But the other thing, too, is there was only one game where I had Kaalia protected, if you remember. That was the very last game.
Yeah.
All the other games, she wasn't protected. Which is why Lau was able to kill it the one game a couple times.
With Yawgmoth?
Yeah.
So, this seems to be removal.
This is what I would call my defensive package.
I like that. Maze of Ith is a classic land, removes a creature from attacking you, or you could just save Kaalia from attacking. Did you know that?
Yeah. Yeah, you can pull your own out. If you're going to play a card, attacking creature kills itself type thing.
Mortify, Angelic Arbiter, I like, because that's whenever an opponent casts a spell, they can't attack, and if they attack, they can't cast a spell.
Makes them choose one or the other.
Ghostly Prison, classic. Cauldron Haze, why is that in there?
Why wouldn't it be?
Because then if Kaalia dies, he can persist it and bring it back.
True.
Or all my creatures. If you board
Yeah.
wipe, because I have a massive army.
I'm not saying like it shouldn't be in there.
Right.
I'm just asking you. I'm having you elaborate on the
right.
card.
Fair enough. So it was more defensive measure because the reason I was thinking is because Kaalia can ramp quicker than most with big cards. So that's prime for a Wrath of God or something like that. And so if you go ahead and Wrath, if I do that, that's my defense to keep everything back out on the board.
And 2 land fucking with cards would be Winter Orb and Armageddon here. And that makes sense in a Kaalia deck.
Right.
Because you're able to cheat on mana and put cards into play for free while you can just screw other people's... See how I clean myself up there? You can screw other people's land and not let them move forward in the game plan.
Yeah.
I like that a ton. Other than it's super dickhead and I don't like it.
Well, yeah, it was about a month ago, a month and a half ago, when I Armageddon like twice in one night, and you guys...
Was it only twice? I felt like it was a lot more
I think
than
it was
that.
a couple times, but you guys definitely talked about it on the podcast. It worked well. It worked to my advantage.
Adam number 2 did not like the Armageddons.
I loved it. I gotta be honest with you. I looked up a few more cards that will do that, and I just haven't ordered them yet. So I love that Armageddon theme.
All right, so then what's this package
That's
here?
just, I guess, just 4 kind of utility cards.
Okay, so you got Sneak Attack, Warstorm Surge, Sensei's Divining Top, and Smothering Tithe. You got to play Smothering Tithe again, and of course Sensei's Top.
I didn't get to play Sneak Attack tonight, and I love that card. That works great.
That is pretty sweet
works
with
great in
that, yeah.
deck, especially if you think you have someone on the ropes. Because if I have a couple of dragons I can't get to, or some big cards in my hand, it's like you Sneak Attack and just... You know,
And with Warstorm Surge, because you're having such big creatures come out, you're able to do
Yeah.
a shit ton of
Yeah,
damage.
because you could just pay 6, attack, just dropped a huge thing and deal damage all over the place. That's what would happen.
Way to explain the card.
Yep. So I'm assuming this looks like
This is just
angels.
this is just the rest of the creatures.
Do you just have 1 demon in this deck?
No.
No, he hit the Blood Gifting.
I had a couple of the... Like,
Blood
the,
game.
I
Yeah,
had Blood Gift.
Indulgent Tormentor. Okay,
Yep.
there's a couple. All right. None in this package here. So you got Avacyn, Angel of Hope, which makes everything indestructible. Steel Hellkite, top 5 for me. Thank you.
Which I will.
He actually put
I will
it in
tell
for
you.
that.
I've had
Did
that
you?
card forever. I love that card. Like I always thought it was a great card. Never pulled the trigger and utilizing it in a deck because I'm always like making cuts. I'm like, yeah, it doesn't fit the theme. And it's funny is when I listened to the podcast this week and you said that about how good it is for people. I'm like, I need to fucking put that in Kaalia. So today when I was revamping this deck for a couple hours, that was one of the cards that got added.
I feel pretty good about that.
I learned something from your podcast.
After 77 episodes, you feel like you've done one thing that I've said.
Yeah, just the one.
You got Gisela, Blade of Gold Knight, which deals all damage and kills everybody by turn 6.
Double damage. You said deals
It
all
doesn't
damage.
fucking
You said deals all
had
damage. That's not the same
I had
thing.
my Talisman deal me 2 damage for no fucking reason. That
No.
sucked.
You said it deals all damage.
I think he meant a blanket statement.
Deals all the damage. What's your problem? You got
Now we got
Ufara,
Drunk Lowery.
Hellkite.
I think the card says "fuck shit up."
Yeah, fuck shit up. And not fuck shit up for you.
Yeah.
Because it halves damage to you.
Oh yeah.
Utvara Hellkite, which whenever you attack with a dragon, you get to put a dragon into play, a token. Balefire Dragon, which is sweet removal. You didn't get to play that, though.
Didn't get to it tonight.
You did get to play Angelic Skirmisher, though.
It is helpful. You get first strike, vigilance, or lifelink. So that's the beginning of each combat.
Yeah.
You get to choose which one of those 3
But
you want
the
to give to your
entering
creatures.
creature does not get that
Yeah,
ability.
so we discussed that when whatever creature Kaalia is like cheating in isn't affected by that.
Is there like you just really liked it for the like mobility of it?
I
Well,
liked
'cause-
I liked it for the versatility and the
Yeah,
reason
that's a good point to that, because then you change it to first strike to attack when I had a death
when
touch.
you had a death touch. And the other thing too is I have a couple of those draws, or all, my draw mechanics are black, and they require me to lose life to get those draws. So if I'm doing things like that, I don't have a whole lot of life gain in this deck. So that's one of the ways that. And if I give all my creatures lifelink, all of a sudden I might go from 10 and I attack for 20, and it's like bam, I'm right back in this game. So that's kind of why I utilize that.
And I think that's really nice to have like the lifelink or the vigilance there, because like you want to swing out with this deck and end the game as quick as possible, but this allows you to just stay stable and being able to either block and not have people come after you, or gain enough life to just get out of range. Sarah Ascendant, because you're a dickhead.
That's the best part. It's not an angel, demon, or dragon.
Yeah, totally off theme.
Yeah, why are you playing that card?
Because it's so fucking good. Why wouldn't I play? That card belongs to every white deck.
Only for turn 1. If it's late game, but you are gaining enough
6/6
life.
flyer.
If it's late game and you're low life,
Core
then
cards
it's
for
1/1.
Commander White. Shattered Angel, which really fucking helps you against the Golos deck.
Yeah.
You gain 3 life whenever an opponent has a land come into play. Rhea Dawnbringer. Oh, that's kind of a good point. Is this the only recursion card from your graveyard?
I did have. Actually, I think it's over there. It's over in the stack. I think they're there, but I have the proclamation, or whatever, where you can pull. The black enchantment where you can pay 1 or 2 to pull 1 from the graveyard and put it on top of your deck. I think it's sitting over there.
Oh, you're talking about Phyrexian Reclamation?
That's what it is.
Yeah. That Phyrexian is pretty sweet.
I do have that also. So I have two ways to pull things out of the graveyard.
Along with making a deck a week, I'm also have my top 5 cards for each different thing already ready, and that's in my top 5 enchantments.
Nice.
BT dubs.
Oh, good for you.
That means Adam's not even close.
Actually, I already have mine done.
Do you?
Yeah.
We could fucking work this. All right, Hellkite Tyrant. What the hell does this one do?
Okay.
Hellkite Tyrant. Oh, is this the one that steals all the artifacts?
Yep, this is one where
he has a proxy.
When it deals
I can't
combat,
fucking read it.
yeah. So whenever Hellkite Tyrant deals combat damage to a player, gain control of all artifacts that player controls. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 20 or more artifacts, you win the game.
That's stupid.
So, well, I mean, it's honestly, and with a big player game too, it wouldn't be that hard to attack 3 different people and just automatically win the game.
Mm.
Yeah.
Thunder Dragon, when it comes into play, you deal 3 damage to each creature without flying. I think that's a solid, a little bit of wrath. Angelic Field Marshal.
Gives you your vigilance on that.
But it's the only one that gets vigilance.
No, it's
right?
all the creatures get vigilance, and it gets 2 plus 2.
2+2, but it gets
and
all
everything else
creatures.
gets vigilance.
Yeah.
Which
That
is a good
makes
thing
sense.
when you need blockers.
And the other reason I have that one in there is because that one only costs 4. When I say only 4, almost all those angels, demons, dragons cost 5 and 6. So it's one of the ones I can get out for a little bit cheaper if I need to.
Now, if you're in a 4-person game or something with a little bit more, obviously tonight you didn't need a lower curve, but do you think that everything being 6 or higher would be detrimental in a lot, a fast? Well, no, I don't think so. Never mind. Retract that question.
Well, and the reason I would say it's good, I understand what you're asking. It's a good question. And the reason I would say no is because that focus I put on mana rocks to have 12 in there for that reason, to help make up for the fact that they do cost a lot to get out.
I think that is important in there too. I think, and I would say that very similar when you were testing out Ilharg. It's really hard not to look at you, Adam. But when you're playing Ilharg, it's a similar feel. Yeah. But if you don't have those rocks to just be able to play creatures without Ilharg, I think that makes it really tough to make the deck function without your commander. And so I think you went the right route here with Kaalia being able to do both.
Was that the biggest change you made in that deck from the last time we played?
Yeah, it was mana rocks. That was the biggest thing because I had all the. Last time I still had that same thing of attacking multiple attack phases. Mm-hmm. I just couldn't get to it successfully, and it was just slowing down because this just jumps it. And then also there was a game where the game that Lau won where you killed Kaalia, and I basically never replayed it because I could see you were going to immediately kill it. Mm-hmm. And I was able to lay a couple other big creatures out because of the Monarchs helping ramp that up, and so that was my whole idea. Is it's going to be a target for a good reason. So if people are going to keep it in check, I need to be able to get my other angels and demons and stuff like that out.
Yeah, and then you also have the point of if you need to recast her, like you're saying, if you already have the Mono Rocks and everything out there, it helps you recast her easily too.
Yep. Plus, there's the one last thing of am I able to Armageddon or something like that.
That makes sense because you have the Mono Rocks.
If I'm Armageddon or using Winter Orb, I can still then play some stuff if I have enough Mono Rocks there.
And I think that's a big thing about people I know hate a lot of mass land destruction, but I think the goal is even with control decks or whenever you're trying to control a game, you need to be able to end the game quickly. You don't want to make it miserable for everybody. Kaalia is a good example of like you're still stopping everybody, but you're going to end that game quickly because you're cheating out angels. Nobody's going to be able to do anything about it, and you're just going to win the game. And so I think that's really important when it comes to like a 4-person commander game, where if you're going to do a shitty thing, end it quickly.
Sure.
So that
Yeah, Kaalia doesn't ever. That's always a fast game, pretty much with Kaalia.
I think that's why we have my Grand Arbiter deck was universally hated, is because
You had no win con with it.
because the problem was I had a couple wins, but they cost like 9 to get out, and because I redid that deck and it played it once tonight.
It went really well, yeah.
Much better. But I think that deck was universally hated for a good reason, because it's like I would lock the game down, but then not win. It would just draw it out for an hour, and everybody for an hour is like, this fucking sucks. And you're right, it sucks.
And so, like, if you sit down and you lock down the game and you go, okay, my next turn, I'm going to lock the game down more.
Right.
You're just like, fucking kill me. Like, that's all you want, is if somebody's going to, like, just lock down the game, make sure you're going to win as well.
Sure.
Or have reasons in there that, like, you're going to be able to win. So
You have to have your Day of Dragons.
yeah.
All right, let's move. We're over an hour. Let's move into our spoilers.
New cards are coming out for Commander. That's coming out at I think it's like August 22nd. I could be a little off. August 20-something.
I'm actually not sure. This will be the first time Trombley's seen the spoilers, because...
I am so excited.
All right, now, Lowery, why don't you start with the first one there?
Motherfucker.
Yeah, that's why I said it.
She chose the word he couldn't pronounce.
It's going to be definitely Savini's. I'll go with Savini's.
Savini's, I like that one.
Savini's Reclamation. 2 colorless and a white for a sorcery. Return target permanent card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. If this spell was cast from your graveyard, you may copy this spell and may choose a new target for that copy. Flashback, 4 colorless and a white.
We should mention that the rumor of what we talked about, was it 2 weeks ago, is completely true. So we have 4 commanders, and each one has specifically going. One's for flashback, one's for madness, one's for morph, and what's the last one? Populate. So you have tokens and everything. So they started spoiling. I think we got 13 spoiled cards this week, including the main deck commanders. Mm-hmm. We're just kind of going down the list of them. So the actual main deck commanders are down below. So then the next one is, what is it? Cadenas.
Oh, you gave me the hard one.
Silencer. I got that word.
Damn you give him all the easy ones.
1 colorless, 1 blue. It is a Naga wizard. 2/1 when it...
Not gonna work here.
Yeah, exactly.
It still gets me.
When it's turned face up, counter all abilities your opponents control. Counter all abilities.
Do you think that's good? I still don't think that's good.
Counter all abilities?
But it's just at that moment, right?
Yeah, so how many abilities are on the stack?
Right.
I don't know.
I guess Megamorph. So
Megamorph just gives it a 1/1 counter.
You can choose to morph it at any point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess it's just like a counter. The problem too is we don't use. Maybe this will change it. We don't ever use morph, so everybody's gonna know after one time you use it. The next time you ever play that deck, that you just have a counter sitting there waiting.
Well, but all your morph stuff comes. If you're playing a morph deck, then they're all face down, so you don't know which cards are which.
Right. But my point is, we don't ever use morph cards. So generally speaking, this card.
Yeah.
Like
That's the point. Like, we don't play any morph cards, and so it's like they're not good. And
Right.
so
unless you're playing a specific morph deck.
And
but if you decided this card was good. And
then put
this in your deck.
And one.
After you played
what
one
is
time,
it?
from now on, we'll know that you have a counter sitting on the board just waiting.
Yeah. And so, like, you're not playing Stifle, Trickbind, Squelch, or even Stifle, if I said that the first one. But, like, they're not bad, but they're so niche that it's almost pointless to put it in your deck.
So let's move on to the next one, because I actually think this is could be in every blue deck.
I think it's all right.
Read it.
Am I doing it?
Yeah.
Should we? Trombley, you want to read it?
That's fine. This is a really easy one. Leadership vacuum.
What?
I think it's there's like a tilde there. It's like vacuum.
Vacuum.
Yeah.
Target player returns each commander they control from the battlefield to the commander zone. Draw a card. That actually is pretty cool.
Yeah, because you don't target the commander itself.
Yeah.
You target the player. So if they have hexproof or boots on it or anything like that, you target the player and it returns their commander.
I do like the each also for those commanders that are partners.
Yeah.
Also true.
That's a good
So,
point.
so it does both.
Or if you're like a commander that steals other
For sure.
people's stuff,
Oh,
like
yeah,
you
yeah.
can, it returns those commanders back to the people that so deserve them.
That's actually a good point. You could use it for yourself. Basically, someone steals yours.
Yep.
That might be very helpful.
If
We
that's
also
in your
have
play group.
a bonus of drawing a card, and by the way, it was blue and 2 colorless to cast. So
Oh,
it's
yeah.
an instant, so you can do it at any point, which is freaking awesome. That
Now
you
this
can do that.
this is clearly aimed at least one commander. The art is Ural, the Miststalker, who has hexproof and is definitely an aura. I don't know. Did you ever notice that, Adam?
I didn't.
Yeah. Do you know who Ural is?
Yeah, it's the one that you used to play all the time.
Yes.
That was one of
So
your
it's
favorites.
aimed at him. It kind of sucks. It's weird that they found a hate card for him when maybe he's not as popular anymore. I don't know.
Well, I think it's sweet though that you can actually get around the hexproof, which
Oh, sure, yeah, yeah,
That's what you say, because your commander usually is one of your stronger cards. That's why you build a deck around it. And so, how many times do you have Lightning Grease or
Right.
Swift Food or whatever
Trying
on
to
there?
protect
so it's
him.
like this buys you a turn, especially the fact that not only buys you a turn, but now they have to pay 2 more just to replay it, so it slows them down.
And at the worst,
No, it doesn't. So you only have to pay 2 more when it's coming from the command zone. And
no, it says going to the command
command
zone.
zone, but
Yeah,
that's
it
what
actually does say
It
it.
doesn't say hand. So
Yeah,
that's
so they do pay 2 more.
Oh,
Trombley's
yeah.
right.
so I'm saying. So
fucking reading cards is amazing.
So for that reason, you're gonna eat up
Yeah,
some of
wow.
and stuff like that too.
Wow.
That is it seems like a great card.
So
I
from
like
the
that
beginning
better.
of my statement, when I said I think this is a really good card, and Larry went,
I'm
now
back
you're.
to this is a pretty good card.
I think a lot of blue decks are
That's
going to use it.
that's a removal card in blue.
it is, and like Adam already said, it gets around hexproof or
Yeah.
shroud or whatever.
And just being able to have it at instant speed. So think about with Grand Arbiter, being able to do that at the end of that player's turn to allow everybody to get their mana back.
Totally.
That could be really, really helpful in a game.
Yep.
I'm back on board. This is a solid card.
If I have Kaalia and I got Swift Food on it, it seems like you're in a tough spot. Nope. Just
Be able to
put
just
it right back to your
make sure
command
that
zone,
you can't attack with
slow
it.
you right down.
Yeah.
So the next one is this is the one I wanted to talk about. I don't even know how to say his name though. It's Kirk.
Crick.
Son
Crick.
was
of
gonna say
Yawgmoth.
Crick.
But it's 4 Phyrexian mana, Phyrexian mana, Phyrexian mana, so 3 of those. So you could either play 3 Swamp or you can pay 2 life for each of them. He's a 2/2 lifelink horror minion. Horror. Sorry, I can
He's a
pronounce that
horror.
right.
He looks like a horror.
Yawgmoth's a horror.
All your spells, everything in your hand, for each black in what is it, in a cost? Yeah, you may
In
pay
a
2
cost.
life. So you basically all your spells that have black in their mana cost, they're Phyrexian mana now. So you
or
can pay
the
2 life.
abilities also can be.
Oh, that's a good point too. Yeah.
And so, if you have a Pestilence Demon or just Pestilence in general, you can pay 2 life to deal 1 damage to each creature and player.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
If you're doing Pestilence Demon, you give it lifelink, and you pay 1 or 2 life, gain 4 life. This can be insane. This
Yeah.
card is bonks.
And then whenever
not
you
even
cast
done.
a black spell, you put a 1/1 counter on it. So it has the lifelink added bonus onto this. So potentially, I mean, you're casting this for 4
yeah.
to come out because
Pay
you just pay
6.
6 life. Comes out, it's a 2/2, and then all this other shit. Man, this card is
that
crazy.
6 life doesn't seem so bad when you have lifelink.
Yeah,
So you're immediately start
exactly.
gaining it back.
And so, and just think about, you basically just turned all of your stuff into, colorless, and then just being able to pay the 2 life for whatever black mana symbol just to play it, putting counters on them, and if you make them big enough and just attack, you're gaining that life back with the lifelink. This card seems crazy. Do not get rid of it. Keep it in your binder. This card is crazy.
I feel like this card, if you build a black and white deck with lifelink,
Yeah.
is as the basis of it. This card would just aid something like that.
I think as a black commander, that'd be great.
Sure.
Fitting it into any life gain deck like a Loro or something, just being able to just use your life willy-nilly is
Yeah.
going to be crazy.
Or even just a straight black deck with him as your commander.
For sure.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, next one, Lau. Or no, it'd actually be on Trombley now if we're doing.
No, it'd be me. It's you, me, him.
Yeah, there's 3 in each roll, so really it should. I had the last one last time.
Oh, so this one should have been boom,
No,
boom,
that's,
boom. Oh,
that
yeah,
was me.
yeah.
That should have been me. You skipped me.
I stole it.
I had a joke for that one too. DJK Rick. All right, Angie's Ravager. Angie's list. 2 colorless red Vampire
terrible.
Berserker 3/3. Stop making fun of my jokes
That was
that are making.
terrible.
Angie's Ravager attacks each combat if able. Whenever Angie's Ravager attacks, discard your hand, then draw 3 cards. Madness, colorless, and a red. So if you're discarding it, you can pay the red and
and
colorless.
that comes into play.
Put it into play.
I'm mad on this. I mean, it's if you're late game and you don't have cards in your hand, that helps, but it's making you attack. Like, you have to attack with it each turn. So you're going to lose your hand. So you don't want to play it when you have shit that you want to use. But late game, I can see playing this.
I think one thing about this, though, is that it's a madness enabler and discarding your hand. So if you're down to like 4 or 5, or 3 or 4, discard those cards and play its madness costs, then you're still being able to cast those cards and then drawing 3 new cards. I think that's kind of what I was saying before. Like, Madness just doesn't have enablers. Like, you're not discarding cards and being able to gain any advantage, and this is that type of card. So if you're playing a Madness deck, it seems like you need this.
Yeah.
Again, not saying Madness is good.
Right.
Just saying if you're playing Madness, you probably need this.
I'm with Adam on this one. It seems like maybe late game.
Yeah.
Late game. I mean, the draw 3 cards is great because you're going to cycle through your deck at the very least, even if you're discarding it.
Yeah.
But, at the end of the later in game, especially if you're lower on hands, at least you're drawing 3 cards and maybe you can immediately play after your attack phase. So
They're trying to give Madness something. Madness doesn't have anything. Trombley, do you want to read this one?
Yeah, so it's Gired's Belligerence. It costs X and then 2 mountains, 2 reds. And Gired's Belligerence deals X damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures. Whenever a creature dealt damage this way dies this turn, populate.
So that seems pretty interesting, actually,
Bonks.
because if you're hitting 1/1 creatures, knocking out a bunch of different creatures,
Tokens,
then you're populating like crazy.
That is pretty cool. Yeah, you knock out 5 creatures, cost you 7 mana, and you get to populate 5 times. If we're talking the 1/1 token scenario.
And then you get to make 5 1/1 tokens that you have.
Yeah.
You want bigger token, but so the commander that
Way
we
to
get
think
to
big, Lowery.
what's big?
Way to think big. 1/1
I
tokens. I can't wait.
you can have O1s as well, but that's in a black deck. I mean, germ tokens.
Germ.
Do we want to do germ tokens?
Those are 0/0s.
Yeah, that'd be awful to populate BT dubs. But this card is crazy cool.
All right, let's move into our first commander with Madness. I guess that's me now.
Yeah, because you went out of order the first time.
Angie's Falconwrath, and it is 1 black and red. It is a vampire. 1/3 haste. You tap it, discard a card, draw a card. Whenever you discard a card, if it has Madness, untap untap her. Just untap her.
Angie Falcon. No, you got to say the names more.
No, you don't need to. You don't need to
card
repeat
seems
the
really
name. It's
crazy.
already on the fucking top of the card.
People want to hear the name
No.
more.
No.
That's just what Jeremy Pizza Guy wants.
That's
Pizza
true.
But yeah, this
Fuck that guy, by the way.
No.
seems like a good
has a wife.
thing for Madness, I guess. It's the best thing you can really do. Madness has to be vampires. I guess this is their lord, their general.
And Savior. I think that was a God joke. All right.
I heard that. I
Even-
don't believe in it. Oh!
Even without the Madness, I feel like this could be a fun commander either way, just to cycle. Am I
Yeah.
wrong there? Like, just discarding and drawing a card.
But if you're going to do a commander off of it, you probably want to use that
you want-
Madness.
no, I agree, but the discard and draw seems nice just to cycle through when you need it.
Yeah.
The nice thing I think about it is that you don't have to actually cast the Madness card that you discard. So you could potentially just cycle through a ton of your deck until
Use
you
that
get
as your discard, too, and you don't like it.
And so you're just like, Madness, don't need it, tap, and just get to a card that you want, or if you don't have enough Madness cards. But this feels like you can, cycle through like 5-6 cards a turn. Like that feels really powerful, being able to, maybe if you have like a graveyard deck with some Madness in it, like this feels like it could be really powerful in my mind, just being able to untap and tap it and discarding a card to draw a card.
I like the haste with it, too, so you're,
Yeah.
you're immediately
Able to
doing
do
it,
it
right?
right
So
away.
like turn 3, you're already cycling through if you want.
Yeah, so I agree that you don't even have to use it as a Madness commander, or just have it in your... I think it's just good utility in general.
Well, that's what I was going to say. If you're not going to use it as your commander, it'd be a 99, in your 99. But if you're using it as a commander, you want to kind of take advantage of that.
Feels a little weird that it doesn't have flying, but thank God it doesn't have flying.
So because it's a vampire?
Yeah.
But a lot of the vampires don't. Like even the tokens that you make with what's his name?
Does just
Edgar
like they
makes 1/1.
Edgar.
Yeah, it does seem like it because they're bats or vampires or whatever.
It's a staircase, so obviously they're walking in the background. So
good observation, Lowery.
Yeah.
All right, why don't you read the next card?
Gerard, Weatherlight Hero. It's 2 colorless, mountain in the plains. It's a 3/3 legendary creature, human soldier. It's 3/3 first strike. When Gerard, Weatherlight Hero dies, exile it and return to the battlefield or all artifact and creature cards in your graveyard that were put there from the battlefield this turn. Really?
I'm not that excited about it.
Really?
But you have to kill him.
I think it's Wrath Tribal, right? So you Wrath the board, and you have a full, just a bunch of creatures and enchantments or artifacts, whatever the fuck it is, artifacts, and you get rid of everybody else's. Gerard obviously dies, but everything else comes back. Like, that feels like that's a one-sided Wrath on your commander.
You're using white and... That'd be better with black.
So Blasphemous Act. There are a ton of red and white cards that just do this. Think about it like other cards. Think about other cards.
You named
that
one. You named
Think
one.
about it. Wrath of God.
Wrath of God. Day of Judgment.
Damnation.
Damnation is not going to work. There's a red-white card.
Oh, it is red-white.
Yeah.
That's why I was thinking black. Black would probably have been a better fit because
I disagree.
Black would have had
Gerard is not in the swamp realm.
Oh, sorry.
I guess I'm not seeing this. I'm kind of with Adam on this one. I see there's potential. Maybe I'll be proved wrong, but I'm just like, I don't know. It seems
Larry, build the deck.
seems so situational.
Yeah.
I think you can be able to build your deck with more wraths than normal and just oppress everybody else.
Sure.
When it comes to
Sounds fun.
their sounds fun for me.
Yeah, sounds like a Lowery deck right there. All right, Trombley, go on to the next next card because that one sucks.
Does not suck.
All right, is this Garrod Conclave Exile?
That's probably accurate.
When Garrod Conclave Exile enters the battlefield, create a 4/4 green Rhino creature token with Trample. Whenever Garrod attacks, populate. The token enters the battlefield tapped and attacking. That's pretty sweet, actually. Yeah. I like that one.
I saw one of the Fast Finance guys was ragging on this card.
Oh, really?
Just because he thought it was really, really slow, which it might be. But I think if you give this haste, like common Lightning Greaves, Swift Whip Boots, you're in red, so you're able to give it haste on a consistent basis anyway if you're wanting. You're adding 10 power onto the board, and you're able to attack. Like, that just feels pretty powerful if you're... Like, you could even have bigger tokens than the 4/4 that you're creating, but it just is able to feed into itself, and I think that makes it pretty powerful.
Yeah, but the thing is you're basing it off of 4/4 Rhino creature. I mean, it isn't really...
It has trample.
I know, but I mean, your focus of that deck. You're a 3-color deck focused on him coming out and attacking. I wouldn't use this necessarily, I guess, as my commander, but I don't know if I would use this.
But your token focus. So let's say you have like Parallel Lives or Anointed Procession or Doubling Season that creates 2 4/4 green Rhino tokens and 2 4/4 Rhino tokens that are attacking. Like, that can be really, really powerful when you're like putting in. There's enough. Okay, so here's the difference between Populate and the others that we're talking about here, is that Populate has a ton of support when it comes to just tokens in general.
Yeah.
And Madness and Morph and Flashback just don't have that much. And that's why Jared from fucking jail.
Not from Subway. You're about to say Subway. From jail.
I like that.
I think that's what makes this card probably more powerful, because there's just so much more support for it. I don't know.
It's 3 colors, and it isn't
I
as impressive.
guess I'm making this deck too.
Is that how it works? When Adam goes, meh, then
Laura's like,
then
yeah, I'm
Laura's
going to
I
take
guess-
it. That's my deck.
Especially, it also seems to me like whenever Adam goes meh, you feel compelled to defend.
Yeah, I
it,
know.
even if you don't
Because
like
he
it.
likes to do the devil's advocate, or he's just the other side. He's like, what? No. And then when I'm like, this card's really good, like that blue one we were just talking about, I was like, I don't think it's that good. And then by
We
the end
just
of the
have different
conversation.
perspectives
The best part
on
is it makes it
cards.
easy to decide who makes which deck, though.
Right.
I just let Adam make whatever he wants, and then I leave. All right.
No,
I
you
pick
just
whatever.
make all the decks.
I make
You
all
would
of the
pretty-
other decks.
You make like 15 decks to my 1. So
It's
I
a
get
4-to-1
the
ratio
scraps.
right now. You get whatever you
All
want.
right,
and
so
then
we
I
have
make the rest.
Kadena Slinking Sorcerer. I think that's how you would say it. 1 black, green, and blue. It is a Naga Wizard. No jokes. 3/3.
Not gonna make it.
The first face-down creature spell you cast each turn costs 3 less to cast. Whenever a face-down creature enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. So this is actually a really good card for our morph cards.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's giving you draw engines to replace your morphs going down. It also costs less to flip them. This is pretty. Is it flip them or just put it down?
No, just putting face
put
down.
in face
Yeah,
down. So you put the
it
first one
costs
down
more.
free.
Yep.
So it's pretty
And then
ridiculous.
you draw a card off of that too, which is pretty nice.
So it makes it so you don't go broken with it, where you're building just face down, face down, face down, draw, 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 draw. But
Right.
at least your first one's free. You tap 3, the next one comes down. You get to draw again. So this is probably my favorite one out of the ones that we've seen so far.
I agree.
So the first one is free and you draw a card off.
Right.
Yep.
That is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
That is.
And again, there isn't any morph cards that I want to play with, but like this being the commander makes it at least decent that I get more of the cards that I don't want to play with.
Well, and you hope that they add some morph cards in this set.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Because if you're doing this and there's no new morph cards, and you're like, fuck,
Damn it.
Yeah,
this is
that's not
worth
good.
it.
That's not good. One thing that I was thinking also is that Manifest works with the drawing card because it's whenever a face down creature
Yep.
enters the battlefield. So Manifest is putting those 2/2, and they're creatures. It doesn't matter if they're a creature flipped, but it's a 2/2. So like Ugin the Ineffable, whenever you put a Manifest card from the top, you get to draw a card off of that, or the Primordial Soup. Fuck, it's a
That's the
blue
green-
enchantment.
oh, not the
blue
green guy?
enchantment from last year from the Amanatu deck
Oh,
that we
gotcha.
talked about. It was like, if there's ever a Manifest deck, maybe. But this, I think those 2 cards can be really good in this kind of deck. And just thinking of other Manifest cards, because you're just able to get more drawing off of Kadena here. And so those 2 cards work. They work in hand when it comes to drawing the card. So
So then we got the last commander. Who's on this one?
That's me.
That's you?
Savini, fuck.
You love the...
Fuck you. Savine is so fine. The Chronoclasm. 2 colorless, blue, red, white. Human Wizard, 2/2. And so this prevents all damage that would be dealt to Savine or the Chronoclasm. Where the fuck that is. Whenever you cast your first instant or sorcery spell from your graveyard each turn, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy.
I know a lot of spell slinger people will love this card. I'm just
sure.
not that kind of... I don't play those as much, so it doesn't get me excited downstairs.
I just want to point out that anytime someone plays this, I'm going to say, "Oh, Ricky, you're so Sylvine."
Savine.
Savine.
Oh, Ricky, you're Sylvine.
So how did...
Oh, that was a good one.
Does this... I don't know. This one doesn't stand out for me, but I know the spell slingers are really going to love this one.
Yeah. I wrote, my friend Nick is just like, I love this card. And for me, again, it's like, you can double cards. Like, there still isn't any flashback cards. There might be like 2 where I'm like, yeah, that'll be sick. But again, think twice, draw 2 cards. Fuck, all right, I guess. Like, I think the important thing is like Snapcaster Mage. And then you can also have... There's some other cards that allow you to play spells from your graveyard, and I think those would be important with this. But again, you're not playing flashback cards then because you're playing just normal spells. So does that make this good? I feel like there's probably too much setup between the 2. At this point, I'm pretty meh on
Yeah,
this.
I don't play Snapcasters, so I'm not going to play this one. I don't play...
The pairing with it, though, prevent all damage that would be dealt to it is nice.
Yeah.
I mean, that's nice. What's the enchantment you can put on there? Enchant creature, where it redirects all damage to your creature.
Pariah.
Pariah.
Or Pariah
So
Shield.
you put Pariah on that.
But it isn't Pariah. Oh, Pariah is white. Yeah,
it's
that'll
white,
work.
so you put it on there, and all of a sudden you can't take damage anymore.
I like that angle.
You know,
I like that angle
you can
a
play
lot.
with the whole. And again, it's a chum blocker now. You can block with it, or maybe you want to build it up, and it's basically it's not going to get hurt.
Yeah, that's not a bad
It makes
idea.
a really hard wall to remove.
Right. So you
I like that.
You could do
angle
some
a
fun
lot.
stuff going with the prevent all damage side of it.
All right, let's finish up with the last... What,
Sorry,
you got
one
more?
question about that. So that first card that I read that doubled if it was being played from the graveyard. There's a couple of cards like that from Dark Ascension, I believe. So if this card was cast from your graveyard, you may copy that spell and choose new targets for the copy. That would copy that style. And again, there's a couple from Dark Ascension, I believe it is, where it doubles the flashback. So with that double with Savine, so you get
Seems
4.
like it, right?
That seems pretty powerful in itself. But there's like a mill one, there's a tokens one, and what does the red one do? Not sure what the red one does off the top of my head. What it does.
What it does.
All right, let's move on to the next one. We're almost at an hour and a half.
Nobody cares. They want to listen to our voices. And that's all the dulcet sounds.
Beautiful voices.
Trombley, you are on that one.
All right, we got, what do we have here? Scare Tiller. It is 4 colorless. It's an artifact. It's a artifact creature Scarecrow. Whenever Scare Tiller becomes tapped, choose 1. You may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped, or return target land card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. And it's a 1/4.
Seems pretty good.
Meh.
But it's
kidding.
a common.
Just kidding. No, that seems really good.
4-drop is my biggest problem with it.
But it's a 1/4. That's a decent blocker.
Yeah, but you're wanting to attack with it.
I think you could crew vehicles with this. Cards that I like are like Opposition, being able to tap down another creature with Opposition into play, and still be able to put like a land from your graveyard or your hand into play tapped. And again, it's not just basic land. This is any land, so you can return fetches. This seems pretty powerful.
I like it. And just weeding out your hand, I mean, you can play 2 lands in a hand. And I mean, how many times do you build decks doing that? You get 2 lands out in a turn.
You could even put this in Doran. Doran, this is right on curve where you get basically a 4/4 for 4 that allows you to put another land into play tapped. Like, I think there's I don't think it goes in every deck,
I think it goes in Reaper King.
but
Scarecrow.
every the Scarecrow has to go in Reaper King because there isn't
There's
enough
a lot
Scarecrow.
of Scarecrows.
Yeah. Would you take out some changelings for that?
No. Got to keep the changelings in. You need as many Scarecrows as you can get. All right, last one is Sanctum of Eternity, and this is a land. It comes in, you can tap it for colorless, or you can tap 2, return target commander you own from the battlefield to your hand, activate this ability only during your turn. So I like that it doesn't say activate this ability as a sorcery. You can do it, attack with your commander, if somebody, like your Kaalia deck. If you attack with it, somebody goes to kill it or blocks with it, instead of it going to your command zone, you can tap 2, pop it back to your hand.
Plus, someone steals yours because it's ones you own, right? Not
Yeah.
that you control. So if someone steals your commander, it's a great way to get it back.
Yeah, it is an own. Yeah.
This is already.
But you can
a
only
combo
activate it
card.
on return. Yeah, you can do it.
So if someone steals yours,
Yeah, you can get it back. That's a good
it's
point.
a good way of keeping control of your own commander.
So kind of like a homeward path a little bit.
Totally.
But this card is already like Zakama from Rivals of Ixalan. When it comes into play, you get to untap all your lands, and then it has a lot of abilities. So this basically goes infinite with Zakama, and there's a bunch of other commanders that just work. Like you basically can combo out with just 1 land and enough other lands. Like, this card's crazy. So
You think it's going to go in a must-have in every commander deck?
a lot,
Yeah.
like especially the combo ones that it works so well with. I think this just has to be in there.
Yeah. All right, that is it for the spoilers, and actually, that's the end of the episode, isn't it?
For sure.
We went, what, an
That was
hour and a
really
half? Is that going to be the word that you're going to say for the whole episode?
For
Damn it, you
sure.
started
For
at the
sure.
end. For sure.
Sure. Well, that was the
For
problem.
sure.
It wasn't for show. It was for sure.
She was a hoe. Faux show.
I'm going to cut all that. That was really
Wow.
bad, guys. I'm not mad. I'm just
Thank
disappointed.
God.
All right, so that'll do it for this week. Trombley, thank you for joining us as being our first guest.
Yeah, I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on. It's awesome.
You guys can follow us on Twitter.
At CommanderSmiths.
You can go to YouTube.
At CommanderSmiths.
You can Gmail us
At CommanderSmiths.
and go to our Patreon.
At CommanderSmiths.
Ooh, that was a sexy voice. All right, we will see you guys next week.
Thanks for listening.
See ya.
Bye. Bye.